Hey folks, somebody asked me the other day, are there going to be any other bits of footage used in Hobby Nightmares? And yes, there will be. I'll be doing some recording this weekend to get to use some more footage to watch as we're doing Hobby Nightmares. And speaking of which, let's dive straight into our first one, shall we? Which is a Hobby Nightmare, a short one, but also a question too, from Jack. And it's a very pertinent question too. If you want to send in your Hobby Nightmares, make sure you use the email address down below, hobbynightmares@gmail.com. Send over your Hobby Nightmares, and I'll try and get them read as soon as possible. And if they fit into a theme that we're doing day by day, they may get bumped up in the schedule too. So, Jack says, "Hello, Mr. Exile." Hello, Jack. How's it going? "You have a fantastic channel. Thank you very much. And I'm always watching to wind down in the evenings. Good. Good. I will cut to the chase and tell you about a particular time I visited my local Warhammer shop. It was the middle of summer a few years back, and I decided to walk down to the shopping centre, which is a mall if you're living in the US. I know around 60% of you watching do, so there you go. Upon seeing the Warhammer shop, I was hit with a sense of happy nostalgia and wanted to go down memory lane. When I entered the shop, the smell hit me. It was the kind of smell that stops you in your tracks and make you think to yourself, what the actual F? Looking inside from the front entrance, I could see 3 people sitting at the table and painting, and 1 employee. The shop was empty otherwise. I took my chances and entered. I wanted to relive my old hobby, despite the senses begging me not to. My curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to know where this smell was emanating from. Like GTA 5, I went for a drive-by past the 3 painters, and the smell was confirmed. The cliché Warhammer player was in full effect with this gentleman. Sweat, weight, the lot. I asked the employee to come over to me if I were looking to make some purchases, but my intention was to ask him what was going on. He told me he didn't have many friends, the guy who smelt, and felt bad asking him to leave due to the smell. I understood the sensitivity of the situation, but questioned if it was worth having no customers. People walked in and turned around in an instant whilst I was in the shop during my own visit, or having that guy there in the first place. Is it right to call a guy out for his personal hygiene? The business comes first in my opinion. Many thanks and happy 2024, Jack." Alright, I'm pleased to enjoy a model I have recently painted. I don't play anymore, I'm just a painter and a display artist now. Okay. Let's have a little look, shall we? I think this is my next project as well. I think you sent me something that I'm going to be doing as well. Let me have a little look, see. Yes, you did. It's Baylor. And a very nice looking Baylor at that. Very nice. Those of you who don't know, Baylor is one of, if not the main antagonist of the Void Talons, of their series of stories that are going to be done throughout this year. So yeah, there's going to be a diorama with Baylor standing there like that, and my chapter master walking towards him with his sword out, which is going to be absolutely really cool. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, that's a really cool looking Baylor, man. I'm going to leave it there for a while whilst I discuss what you said in your Hobby Nightmare. Now, I think you were frank. I think you were honest. I think also at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, here's one anecdote from my own time at GW when I actually did say to somebody, look, man, you know, the smell coming from you isn't great, so, you know, I'm not sure if you've been to the gym. This is how I worded it, right? I took the guy aside, said, look, man, you know, I'm not sure. Have you been to the gym today? Because, like, you know, the smell's quite pungent. Like, well, you know, what's been going on? Have you not been able to get a shower? And he said, oh, dude, thank you. I don't have a sense of smell. I can't smell anything. So thank you. Dude, thank you so much. Can you mind my models? I'm going to go get a shower. I'll be right back. And he did. He went back to his flat, got a shower, got changed, came back completely fine. Right? So you never know why somebody smells. That's the point I'm trying to make. You never know why somebody is smelling that day. It could be because, you know, he's just a smelly bugger, or it could mean that he's got some sort of problem with his smell, or he could just be having an off day. You know, I've had a guy come into a Games Workshop after a 3-day bender, Like he's been drinking for 3 days with his pals, but he's hugely into the hobby. So he pops in because he only came to my city on a not a stag do, but a night out. Do you know what I mean? So he comes in, stagger in, and he's like, "Oh, bloody hell!" I had to say to him, "Man, look, you smell of booze. I can't have you around here." And he's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, mate. Really sorry. Yeah, I was out last night. You know, I love Warhammer. I just thought I'd pop in." I said, "Look, go get some mouthwash, wash your mouth out, right, and come back in." But it was coming out of his pores. It literally, he's drank that much, it's coming out of his pores. So even when he came back, I let him stick around for a bit, and I was like, "Alright, mate, yeah, you're gonna have to go now. I can still smell it. And there's kids around, you know what I mean?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem." And he got a white dwarf and left. You know? So there are many people out there who will go along with you if you are polite in the way you talk to them about it. Don't be a dick. That's the main rule. In life in general, too. Do not be a dick. Make sure that you're going into any sort of discussion about personal hygiene from the point of view of you want to help this person. Don't go in there in an accusatory manner. If you do that, you're on hiding to nothing. You know, you're literally on hiding to nothing. They're going to resent you. They're not going to want to talk to you anymore. That's not the way to go about it. So make sure you approach them with kindness and you say, "Look, is there an issue going on here? Because, you know, this doesn't smell right. You know, like literally doesn't smell right. And I don't want you to be embarrassed. You know, you can come to me with anything." Bear in mind, you're also the Games Workshop manager. A lot of these dudes see you as a kind of a hero. I know that sounds weird, but they do, right? And it's not a bad thing either. I can completely understand why. A lot of these guys see you as the cool guy, the guy that they want you to get along with. Imagine the guy that you respect really a lot coming over to you and saying that you stink, right? It would kind of rub you up the wrong way, wouldn't it? It would make you feel a bit, you know? So approach them with kindness. Approach them knowing, like, you know, you're going in there to make sure that they're getting what they need. And if they do get offended, then that's when you bring out the big guns and you say, "Look, you know, I'm literally just telling you how things are, how you smell. Alright, if I smelt like that, I would want somebody to talk to me. I would want somebody to tell me what the hell was going on and tell me what was up. Alright? I'm just giving you a heads up. Because I can't have people like that in the store all the time. Because I can't have people running off my customers because you can't figure out how to wash your armpits properly." That's literally it. That's literally the long and the short of what we're talking about here. Alright? That's all you need to do. And most people won't be offended. Most people take it on the chin. And I'm telling you now, most people, even if they're like rampant nerds, need a kick up the arse anyway. And everybody's too polite to say anything. You're the Games Workshop manager or the hobby store manager. You have the authority to say, "Listen, man, you fucking stink. Don't come into my store if you smell that way." You are completely within your rights to say that. You're completely within your rights to do that. So go ahead and do it. Literally, man. I'm being completely above board and honest there. That's all you need to do. And if they get offended, if they threaten to you know, tell on you to the company, let them. Let them. This has happened before with Games Workshop. They know what to do. Alright? You're not going to get fired because, you know, Smelly Dave comes in and complains that you've said he stinks and you're driving off he's driving off your customers. No Games Workshop line manager is going to sack you or even warn you for that. He'll probably call you up and have a bloody good laugh about it. It's like, yeah, just, you know, only if you're offensive. If you approach them in the right way and you do it from a helpful standpoint and you're trying to do what's best for them, okay, approach it like that. If you approach it like that, no worries. Because then if they give you comeback, you can say, "Look, alright, the gloves are off now. You stink. This is what you need to do about it. And if you can't do this, you can't be here, right? No problem." And if they want to complain from then on in, at least you've been nice and you've been good. And you've got that leg to stand on. If you go over right there on the bounce and say, "Oh, you smelly bastard, fucking get out." You know, if you do that kind of thing, then yeah, he's got a right to complain, right? Because you're being a dick about it. So there's the different things. If you want to be a Games Workshop manager, that's how you should broach it. But in terms of personal hygiene myself, it's something that I obsess about. I tend to think it is a symptom of not getting laid. I mean, it's like a self-perpetuating prophecy. It's like a vicious circle, right? You know, you're not getting laid, so you don't look after yourself. And because you don't look after yourself, you don't get laid. And you're not getting laid, so you don't look after yourself. And it goes round in that kind of a circle. Most of the guys I know who have been good with women, including me, and I've not been, amazing with women. I've had quite a few, but I've not had anywhere near some of my friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, all of them seem to have very good hygiene. They can live like slobs. You can walk into their flat and go, fucking hell, man. Right? They can live like slobs, but their body, personally, they always smell nice. They're always dressed nice and they always smell nice. Always. Because they never know when they're going to get laid. It could happen tomorrow. They could be walking down the street. They could get talking to somebody in a queue at a shop or something, and you never know. A few hours later, they're on a date, and a few hours later, they're in bed. You never know. They've always got to stay on top of it. Dress for success. Prepare for success. If you don't, it's not going to find you. It's kind of like sitting at not washing yourself, right? But wanting to get laid is like sitting at a computer and never writing a word and expecting to be a published author, right? Prepare for success, guys. Prepare for it. It takes mental fortitude to prepare for it with no guarantee of a reward. It takes huge mental fortitude. But if you can do that, it will find you eventually. If you dress nicely, if you cut your hair on different parts of your body, you know what I mean? If you wash yourself, if you make sure you smell nice, you wear a size-appropriate clothes, you work on the way that you talk to people, you want to have a laugh with people, right? Go to therapy. If you set yourself up for success, if you prepare for, even if you're not successful, if you're preparing for when success does find you, it will. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. If you sit there and you prepare your body and your personality to have success, because you're thinking, when I'm getting laid, I want to be able to smell nice and look nice, right? Then it will come. Then it will happen. If you sit there expecting the world to acquiesce to you, and you say, no, I'm not getting a wash, why the hell should I? When I get laid, then I'll wash. Because then, I've got an excuse to wash. No. Doesn't work that way. The world doesn't owe you fuck all, dude. You've got to go out there and you've got to make sure that you're dressed for success. And you're ready to go and get it. Right? If you build it, they will come. They will come. They will, like building Rome. If you build Rome, they will come. Build it and they will come. That's what you do. You prepare your body for success. You shave. You do whatever you need to do to keep it under wraps. You wash. You have good dental hygiene's huge, man. The amount of nerds that I've seen with bad dental hygiene, and they're like, "Well, I don't like women because I don't get any respect from them." Or whatever. Yeah, dude, it's because your breath stinks. Fucking brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. Floss your teeth. Use mouthwash. Dude. These are elementary things that you learn when you're 3 years old. Fucking do them. There are standards. Listen. There are standards across the board. I've dated lovely looking women whose hygiene hasn't been great and I've walked away. And that's me as a bloke. And when I was 20, I'd shag anything. Honestly, I would literally, if you were a decent looking woman, that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? And we're on a date. I'm game. When I was 20, I'm there. Let's do it, right? But even I would walk away from a woman with bad personal hygiene. Did it more than once. Gorgeous woman. Normally a metal girl. I'm sorry, girls, if you're into metal. It was normally a rock chick, right? She'd be... You could just tell from the way that her hands, and then eventually, you're getting rough and ready and you take off her pants and you're like, oh, okay, right, there's an issue here. I ended up taking many women from rock bars into romantic showers as an excuse to fucking get washed. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I had to do that, that would be the only time I'd see them. And that's me. Right? This would be a horny 20-year-old dude at the time. And if I'm doing that to women who are really good looking, what do you think women are going to do to you? If you don't smell nice and you don't take care of yourself. It's elementary, it's standard. Is what it is, lads. It's standard. So make sure you do that. And just for your own self-worth and your own self-confidence, make sure your personal hygiene is in a good way. Again, the same thing comes... Let's take women out of the equation. Self-confidence, right? Happiness. Those things you need to prepare for. They don't just come to you from nowhere. If you're looking nice and you're smelling nice, you have a good baseline level for who you are, right? You have a good baseline of happiness. It will find you. If you take nothing away from my videos, please take that away, alright? Self-respect. What I mean by self-respect is, have pride in your appearance and your smell. If you do those two I'm not saying preen in front of a mirror for ages, but if you do those two things, right, you'll be more happy, more fulfilled, you'll have a stronger baseline self-confidence as the foundation of the house that is you, right? And eventually, interest will come to you from other quarters. I promise you, alright? Alright. Moving on. Moving swiftly onwards to our next hobby nightmare. Chaos Mike says, "Hey North, just wanted to say thank you for the channel and all you do." No problem, man. "I will get past this preamble and straight into the hobby, don't worry. So our local Games Workshop manager was called Tony. A decent guy for the most part. This isn't a story about him getting what he was owed or anything, because he was a bad guy or anything like that. I remember a similar story like that happening a while ago on this channel, and Tony wasn't a bad egg. He was a very Games Workshop-centric person, though. Like, extremely. Any opinion you had of Games Workshop that was in the negative, generally, was derided and exercised from his presence. He would do all of this, all of the time, and when I finally asked him what was up with that kind of behaviour, he was actually very frank with me, okay? He told me that at the end of the day, he worked for Games Workshop, and he couldn't have them bad-mouthed in his own store. As soon as he let that happen once, he would be on a slippery slope. He worked for the company, and he took loyalty very seriously. And you know what? I got what he meant. I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of the things Games Workshop were doing at the time. This was in the bad old days of 6th and 7th edition. Those editions of the game were fine, by the way, but the way Games Workshop acted back then was nothing short of abysmal. It was like they were resentful of the money they were making or something. So anyway, that was Tony's major flaw in my opinion. The rest of the time, he was generally a good guy and always tried to help us out when he could. The thing is, with him, that I know for a fact that if he was still working with the company, now, with the no gaming rule in stores, he would be the kind of guy to follow it without question, you know? Yeah, no, I get what you mean, but I also get what he's saying, is that, look, I work for this company, you expect me to just sit here and let you badmouth the company? I do that all the time. You know, I would, if I was out and about with the lads from the store, having a pint, I would tell them, look, you know, this is how I feel about the company and about the way things are going, and it would placate them quite a lot. Like, I'd say, look, this is how I feel. It's not great, I don't agree with it, but this is where we are. And as soon as you did that, I would then explain, look, I don't want anybody bad-mouthing Games Workshop in my store, because it will get back to them. It will get back to them that I'm letting that shit slide in the store. And, again, loyalty means a lot to workers. To a good worker, loyalty means a lot. If you have problems with my company, then fair enough, go make a complaint, no problem. But if you just badmouth my company in the store, the company that I work for all of the time, and you're driving away my customers, no, that's not acceptable. Okay? If you're the kind of guy who goes into Games Workshop just to complain about Games Workshop, go and find the nearest mirror, right? Look in it, and read this back to yourself, right? Go and listen to this video again, and go and look in that mirror. Look in the mirror. The person in that mirror is a dickhead, alright? You're a dickhead. Don't do that. That's somebody's place of business. That is somebody's job, where they've got to be there for 8 to 10 hours a day, working their arse off to make sure you can have a place to go and play your toy soldiers. Especially if you dare go into a Games Workshop where they let you play games at the risk of their own jobs, and you complain about Games Workshop to drive away their customers, go fuck yourself. That's not a great thing to do, alright? I am well aware there are douchebag managers out there, well aware, you know, absolutely. Met loads of them, worked for a few of them, I know they're out there. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, lads, come on, play the game. Play the game. This is somebody's place of business. You wouldn't go into, say, a bakery and start saying how, everyone should be a complete vegan, no one should have any of their products, and you wouldn't do that, would you? And if you did, you'd be a prick. Then why would you do it in Games Workshop? That's somebody's livelihood. Never mess with a man's meal. Don't. Alright? It's the lowest thing you can do. Never mess with a man's meal. Let him eat. Let him get his shit done. And if you have something to say, go to Games Workshop HQ. Go directly and say, listen, I don't agree with the way you're running the company. That's the way to do it. Change does happen. We've seen it. We've literally seen it happen. Right? Are they perfect? No. Absolutely not. Are they trending in the right direction? I would say no. Games Workshop as a whole. But they're not in freefall anymore. And the reason why they're not in freefall anymore is enough of you got in touch with them and told them what day it was. Right? And they finally started to listen. There'll always be Games Workshop, so they'll always trend downwards, unfortunately, but they're not in freefall anymore, and you are to thank for that, for changing their ideas and their attitudes. You don't do that by walking into somebody's business and bad-mouthing the things they sell. Alright? Cool. Rant over. So, we get to the crux of the matter finally. The actual hobby nightmare. At our Games Workshop, we had 2 floors. The first was the shop floor, and the second was the storeroom. Recently, mould had been found in the ceiling of the shop floor, and so the storeroom had its floor ripped up and replaced in a certain area to get rid of the mould beneath it. Fair enough. One weekend, we are having a big apocalypse game event, and 30 people are in the store having a jolly good time. Tony had been hoping that this day would put him over the fiscal year when it came to profit and loss. So far, his day was going very well, as lots of product was flying off of the shelves. When a big spending regular came in and asked for a Tyranid battle box, Tony could see there were none on the shelf. When said customer said, and I quote, "Actually, I'd like 3. I've been saving," unquote. That is a $500 sale right there. Tony turned to me, beaming with a smile, and asked me to look after the shop floor as he went to get the Tyranid boxes from upstairs. I told him I would. I knew this was a big deal if he was going against Games Workshop protocol and handing his shop over to some trusted but still random dude. Anyway, he headed up the stairs. I am standing at the gaming table making small talk with the Tyranid customer and generally having a good time when the gaming table goes quiet and looks up in unison, all 15 to 20 people. We hear a creaking sound from above. We hear the word, "shit," before a foot comes slamming through the ceiling. We are looking up and literally seeing Tony's leg dangling through a hole in the roof as he is violently swearing and calling himself a cunt at the top of his lungs. Oh, yes. Every man's been there. Every man. If you're a man and you're driving home, you're nodding right now. I can sense you nodding away, going, "Yep, done that." Yeah, it might not be putting your foot through something, but doing something, and you're just cursing yourself. It's like, "You fucking idiot." Yeah, we've all done that. He shifts his weight, and we hear a loud snap and crack. Tony comes through the roof at full force and slams into the gaming table, a good 15 feet below, annihilating 2 armies and breaking his gaming table in half. Oh my god. He is bleeding and dazed, but staggers to his feet. He tells the store he is going to have to close for the day, and then offers to finish the Tyranid sale. He is still holding the Tyranid boxes. This is a Games Workshop manager through and through, man. He's not forgotten that sale. It's like a fucking bloodhound. He's like, "Right, never mind that. I've got one leg, never mind that." He hobbles over to the till, you know what I mean? The customer goes through with the sale, and eventually, the guys who lost their armies are standing there, pissed. Yeah, I can imagine. Tony asks them to stay behind with him and then asks them to write down what was lost. He goes and known losses a bunch of stock and just hands it over to them and tells them he will clear it with head office after they take pictures of the hole in the roof, the gaming table and the broken armies. He ended up giving those guys about $100 more than that was broken as a thank you, which was nice. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. And that was a really clever way of doing it, yeah? He goes, takes pictures of the hole in the roof, takes pictures of, like, everything, so everyone knows everything's above board, and then known losses his stock and gives it away. That's a, yeah, completely right way to do it. It turns out he didn't even get into trouble, as the contractor had not signposted the weaker parts of the floor upstairs, and so they went after him for damages, and he had to come back to plaster it and fix it up. Our man Tony got a few days paid leave for free whilst that happened. So, all ended well in the end. Thanks, North. Mike. That is the way to do it. You know, there are some Games Workshop managers out there who go way over the top with the way that they do their stores. But at the end of the day, you know, you will get a lot of them who, shall we say, do their bit in terms of common sense in making sure that when crises do happen in the store, that they're adjudicated and solved very quickly. So well done to this Games Workshop manager, well done to him, and well done to you for sending in the Hobby Nightmare. Thank you very much. Right, I may be back tomorrow. I'm waiting to hear back on a few video ideas that I put forward to a few people who may be appearing in them. I may be back tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Have a brilliant one. I love you a long time. Stay safe, and I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye now.